Hey y'all, welcome back to another Timepieces for Tomorrow episode. And within this video, we're going to talk about the Breitling Super Avenger. Now, previously I had this on a Breitling Pro 2 bracelet, but I put it on a Breitling deployant clasp and an aftermarket strap. Actually, I like this strap a lot. I think it looks really good. So, what are my thoughts about the Super Avenger? So this particular piece I got in 2009. 2009, obviously, the craze back then was bigger is better, for a wristwatch. And, trends change. This timepiece is definitely still relevant. It's definitely still exceptionally well made. And, at 48 millimeters, yeah, it definitely... stands out on the wrist. I've got a 7.5-inch wrist. So you can see 48 millimeters is pretty commanding wrist presence. So if you're not looking for a bigger timepiece, this Super Avenger may be a little bit overkill. Curiously enough, when I was picking out, and I'm glad I did what I did, when I was picking out a particular timepiece at that time, bigger was what I wanted. So after trying this on and then trying on a Submariner and an Explorer 2 and a GMT Master 2, this really dwarfed those wristwatches on the wrist. So at that point in time, part of what steered me towards this was the fact that it's an enormous timepiece. I mean, at 48 millimeters is huge. But as far as build quality is concerned, Breitling does an exceptional job with their cases, as you can see here. I mean, it's a just an exceptionally well-engineered case. Obviously, the case back is very nice, very comfortable on the wrist. I'll give Breitling credit for this. I mean, this being as massive as this is, it wears very comfortably on the wrist. And see the case back, it doesn't use screws or anything. It's just it's very, very well made, in my opinion. The case itself, I mean, exceptionally well put together. The movement is a Bezel 7750, Bezel 77050, and that's a very rock solid movement. Obviously, this is a certified chronometer, but it's also a chronograph. So you can push here, and now you can see I've got my chronograph function engaged. Think of chronograph as like a stopwatch. If you're new to wristwatches, think of chronograph as a stopwatch, except it's on a mechanical wristwatch. So, a lot of people, if you're new to wristwatches, you might look at this, and if the chronograph is not running, one might say, oh, it's not ticking. Well, see, there's your seconds over there on the left. So your 9 o'clock position, when you're not utilizing the chronograph, is your small seconds. So this larger sweeping hand is for the chronograph, for the stopwatch type functionality. And over here at the 3 o'clock position, you have a date. Really like how they do not have a cyclops like a lot of your Rolex pieces have, the cyclops that sticks up on top of the sapphire. This does not have a cyclops, which I think looks a lot cleaner. Again, a matter of personal preference. This does have the flying bee, as they call it, the Breitling logo with the wings. Looks really nice. It's kind of dimensional. The one thing that I do want to mention, and the bezel. It's got smooth bezel action. Let's see how many clicks this has. That's a good question. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, yeah, 120 click bezel. That's, so to go from 12 o'clock position to 12 o'clock position all the way around, there's 120 clicks. This bezel is, it's different. I mean, you don't have aluminum insert, you don't have ceramic. It's just a stainless steel bezel. It looks really neat. It's different. Nothing shiny about it. I mean, this watch, because of the size, it's definitely, especially if you put it on the Pro 2 bracelet, like I don't have my Pro 2 bracelet on it right now, but I mean, that makes it look really noticeable. I think that a leather or a rubber strap really tones it down a bit. The one thing I do want to mention, and this was an extremely important lesson learned with this particular timepiece. And I'm looking on the back now, and I'm going to pull it over so y'all can see it here. Yeah. So if you look here, see if I can get it in focus. Yeah, 300 meters. See right there? It says 300 meters. Well, let me get it back in focus. Yeah, there you go. 300 meters. So one might assume that, oh, well, that's 300 meters water resistance. So I can just swim with it and shower with it and whatever. And and again, I was newer to watches at the time. This was back in 2009. Something to be aware of with this piece, even though it has a stated water resistance of 300 meters, these pushers are not screw down like you might find on the Rolex Daytona. These pushers are not screw down, meaning that even if here's the thing, subconsciously, someone may push these pushers. And if they did and this timepiece was submerged, more than likely water will enter the timepiece. Now this particular crown is a screw down crown, but the fact that the pushers are not, there is the possibility of introducing water. And actually, there's an occasion before I realized that could happen. I was just looking at the 300 meters stated water resistance, and I was not pushing the pushers underwater, and I was only submerged about 5 feet in a lake, but I noticed water in here, and then water spots on the inside of the sapphire crystal. Long story short, at that point in time, I was still covered by the international warranty, so I was able to get it serviced free of charge. So that was a sigh of relief. From that point forward, I wash my hands while wearing this timepiece, but I will never swim with it. Even though it has a 300 meters stated water resistance, and even though I was not actively using the pushers for the chronograph while under the water, it still leaked. So, something to be aware of there. These are great timepieces. Breitling does a great job. Their case finishing is great. I've banged this into walls. I've banged it up a lot, as you can tell, but it's just a great timepiece, something different. There's a lot of timepieces out there. It's like, everybody that gets a watch and they think they've got to get a certain type of watch. And I love Rolex, don't get me wrong, but Rolex is kind of one of those watches that people that may not even really know watches, they get a Rolex and they think they're the top dog. But this is an exceptionally well-made piece. Again, it does not have an in-house movement. It's a Valjoux 7750, but, Breitling did a great job with this. And, it does have, and I don't know how well you can see it, it's almost, it's kind of got a bluish type look on the dial, and that's because it does have AR, anti-reflective coating, applied to the sapphire crystal. Now, it is worth mentioning, I'm not too rough on my watches, but I do bang them into walls and stuff. And if you really crank this up in 4K, you can probably see some subtle scratches. Those scratches are not in the sapphire. Those subtle and very hard to see scratches are in the AR coating, the anti-reflective coating that is on top of the sapphire crystal. So, just something to be aware of that, this particular timepiece, even if you're very careful with it, you will probably experience, I just call them hairline scratches in the anti-reflective coating. Again, it's not in the sapphire crystal. It's purely cosmetic. And unless you really scrutinize, you get the lighting just right and get the timepiece a correct distance from your eyes and really focus, you're probably not even going to notice them. See, like right there to the right of the, between the center of the dial and the small seconds, you can see some subtle scratches where my overhead light is. See right there? Very, very subtle. I mean, you'd have to crank this up in 4K and really pay attention to even notice that it's there. The reality is that wearing this on your wrist, even someone, telling time, looking right at it, they're probably not going to see those scratches. So if you're like me and you hate scratches, you get a pair of sunglasses, you drop them, you get one scratch, it drives you crazy. Don't feel that way about this, because I am that way when it comes to sunglasses. But with this particular timepiece, I know the scratches are there just because I've really looked at it, with microscopic type precision. but they don't, you know, they're not noticeable, and they don't create any problems. But yeah, this is a great piece. Again, today filming this video, you know, it's the year 2021. I think 48 millimeters on today's market is, at least temporarily, probably a larger timepiece. I don't know if the larger timepieces are as popular as they were, you know, 5, 6, 10 years ago. But, you know, it's like everything else, you know, trends change. You know, a watch that's 36 millimeters now is deemed to be too small. You know, in today's market, arguably the perfect size is 39 to 42 millimeters. But again, that can change, and if it does, this is an example of an exceptional larger timepiece that, again, I wouldn't swim with it, but an exceptional piece. You get your chronograph, you get a certified chronometer. It's just very well made. I mean, Breitling does a great job. So tell me what you think within the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do, and that'll notify you whenever I post another video. Oh, if you're looking for Timepieces for Tomorrow merch, look down below. I've got t-shirts, I've got stickers, I've got sweatshirts, all kinds of cool stuff. And again, subscribe, ring that bell, and check out all of my Timepieces for Tomorrow videos and my Timepieces for Tomorrow live shows. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.